Hello, race fans, and welcome to another night of OSCA Weekend Woodsmen Series action here on 3Wide TV. I'm Ty McIntosh, and we welcome you to Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, also known as Montreal here in Canada, for round number 2 of the OSCA 2025B playoffs. It's going to be a crazy night of lefts and rights. We have 10 playoff drivers, 3 are going home, and we're going to see who those are going to be. But first, we've got to get to our broadcast picks.
Yeah, with Tim and Neil not here, I get to go first, which is awesome. I'm gonna go with a guy that everybody wants to pick, but I'm gonna do it so you can't. I'm gonna go with Daniel. Go with good old Danny G.
Danny J.
Danny J.
That sounds like a good pick. I believe I am next. And you know what? This guy cooked Cameron Rich in real life go-kart racing, so I'm gonna go with Ray Bracey.
Is that out of spite because he cooked Cam? That's messed up, Carlos.
PP, who you got?
Oh, we're gonna go with James Miller.
Oh, I picked him last week. Never mind.
Cam, who you got?
Well, just getting all my picks, I guess. You know what? He's actually looked pretty quick in practice, and he looks pretty quick in qualifying, and he has a win on the season. Let's go with Darren.
I'm gonna lose it.
I'm gonna pick Kynan.
A hot pick.
Oh, thank God. I'm going with the little guy. Give me Santi.
Good stuff. Everybody got good picks here.
All right. Well, broadcast picks are out of the way. We're going to get a look at our playoff points. Cam's going to break that down for you. I do want to reiterate. I said it was Montreal. This is the Bojo's Quick Shifts Grand Prix here for Montreal.
Yep, and our points here, Austin Beers with the lead, 1 point over James Miller, the 2 TMR teammates up there in 1 and 2. Ray Bracey, we talked about him. It is the Bojo Grand Prix. He is 4 points behind the lead, and he's looked very strong. Daniel Gore, of course, we're at a road course. Expect him to be quick. Darren Staff, he's got a lot of momentum coming into this race. Got his first win a few weeks ago at Indianapolis. Santi, Thomas Capuano, Dylan Thomas, David Westergreen, Jake make up the rest of your top 10, the remaining drivers. So last week we saw Austin Beers and Tate Lytle get the win, and so that actually kind of changes the momentum kind of coming into this race a little bit with the road course. But our team points, TMR at the top, South Shore, P2 Redux has actually fallen to P3, Binks down to P4, RK, Weekend Woodsman, and Do Good finish out the top 7. But it is going to be a fun race tonight. Very short, 11 lap halves. We actually shouldn't see a pit stop. So road courses, I think, always fun, Ty. Actually, my favorite type of racing. If I'm going to be honest, a lot of skill involved, and this is a really special road course here. It's kind of a street track, kind of not a street track, and the walls are very close to the racetrack.
Absolutely, and the trouble corner, one of them at least, is going to be the corner we're looking at right now. Well, these two corners actually were the two I was going to talk about. You see the Wall of Champions here. That's what you're looking from. The last corner, that was the hairpin. That was the end of a long straightaway. So both of those corners are going to be trouble. I think turn 1 here, this is going to be a pretty decent passing zone. I believe this is something Senna, I believe, is what they call it. I think the big one for me, though, right there, the back straightaway, down the Casino Straight, heading into that chicane, that is going to be the trouble corner for a lot of these guys, especially when they try to make passes. I think that is probably the passing zone, but it's not going to be cozy.
Not at all, and they do call that the Wall of Champions because, of course, mainly an F1 track here in Montreal, but a lot of drivers have hit that, and a lot of champions, a lot of those drivers being champions. Jacques Villeneuve, Michael Schumacher, I believe Lewis Hamilton has crashed there at some point in his career, so just a lot of really great drivers have messed up there and ended their race. We could see it here tonight, but in qualifying currently, it is Noah Brown at the top with a 141.008. He is 7/10 quicker than his practice time. He ran a 41.751 in practice. That's a pretty good little pickup for Noah. Noah has been pretty good on the road courses. We saw him last season almost win at Bathurst before a late race mistake took him out of that. And just one of the drivers, in that Redux camp that we kind of just, Redux is known for their road course racing. So we do expect all of their drivers to be pretty strong here. And currently it is Noah P1. Let's see, Jake is down in P5, Jake Scarborough. Then we have Santee down in P10, it looks like. And then Daniel Gore is P3. So, yeah, pretty good showing for all the Redux drivers at this track. But, you know, we are ending up qualifying here. I think Noah actually is going to take the pole, and interesting that nobody picked him in our picks tonight, but yeah, that's a pretty good place to start here. Let's go ahead and get to our grid. Noah Brown is your pole sitter for the Redux Racing team, and he's got his teammate right behind him in P3, but next to him, Ray Bracey for South Shore. He is sponsoring tonight's race. He starts in P2. Darren Staff, my pick, he starts P4 for the RK Motorsports crew. Jake Scarborough, another Redux car, rolls off in P5. Connor Jones for the Weekend Woodsman crew rolls off in P6. Matt Hackathorn, P7. James Miller at P8. Two TMR teammates there in row number 4. Santiago Aguirre in P9, the last of the Redux cars. And Austin Beers, P10. David Westergreen and Dylan Thomas will round out your top 12 here. Let's get through our grid.
Thomas Capiano, 13th in the TMR 21. Aaron Evans is outside in the RK 48. Tate Lytle, who did not qualify, might start. I don't know. Unsure about that. He will be 15th if he does. Dallas Myhan, 16th. And Gilberto Javier Gomera will be 17th, rolling off tonight.
Oh, standing starts, guys.
Yeah, so not rolling off. I guess standing off or sitting. I don't really know. I can assure you that mistakes happen with your motor vehicle during these situations. If you turn your car off and then you don't turn it back on, you will get plowed. I was that guy when we went to Spa. It was not a good time.
Not in the good way too, right? I would assume.
No. No. All
right. I don't think Tate is actually here.
15 seconds.
He did not make a single lap in practice. So yeah, we got 12 seconds for the grid to get going here. And yeah, standing starts. I mean, very, very interesting what we're going to see here in just a few seconds.
Gonna get ready to get rolling. We're going to get a points update possibly is what Beers is looking for between halves. Hopefully we do get one for eliminations. Everybody's getting ready to go. We don't really have a lights out, so it's going to be really random here.
Green flag.
We're green. Danny G with a great jump. Oh, Darren Staff did not get going. Neither did Jake Scarborough. Hackathorn and Miller, they're going to take them. They're going to be 3 wide heading into turn 1, a little bit further back.
Ooh, deep. Noah Brown.
Ooh.
Ooh, Connor Jones. Contact for Darren Staff around. That's my pick. I probably shouldn't have picked him. That's probably why he got turned right there.
Santee got tagged. He's able to hold on to it. See Bojo trying to challenge Danny G for the second spot. Noah Brown, though, he is out by a little bit of a good bit. James Miller now, he's going to pressure Bojo.
Yeah, down here on the other end of the racetrack. So the corners generally kind of tighten up on this end of the racetrack, so you have to keep, it's very hard to pass through this set of S's here. Kind of one line, single file here. You see about top 5, 6, 7. Pretty single file here as we spread out. Pretty good lead for Noah Brown coming into, what is that, turn 8, I believe? I got to get my corner numbers updated here for Montreal, but down into the hairpin where he's coming now. Pretty good lead on his teammate. Teammate got a very good restart, jump off the line there for the standing start, so he was able to jump up from his P3 spot into P2. But Bojo, P3 right now, looking pretty good down the backstretch. I don't see any real battles on the racetrack. I think everybody has kind of settled in right now. Maybe a little further on back. Kynan Jones currently in P6. Actually, no, Kynan Jones is in P16. Yeah, my scoring did not update there. I saw that. So he had a really bad start there.
Yeah, it looked like he might have even jumped the start. He was way off to the right when everybody started rolling. He had some contact with other trucks in the back. David Westergreen's got pretty significant left rear damage. He had a moment with Dylan Thomas. So 2 of our playoff guys not starting off too good. Meanwhile, Austin Beers, he started P10. He's up to P8. Thomas Capuano started 13th. He's up to 9th after 1 lap. And Aaron Evans, 14th. He's 11th. So doing some good work for those guys that are trying to make their way through. But right now, I think you're looking at your road course ringers at the front. and you're looking at everybody else that has to fight right on top of each other there in 6 through 10.
I was talking to Thomas Capuano before this race tonight, and he said his goal was to survive, which, you know, sounds easy enough, but with the walls here, this is not your typical road course where you have a lot of runoff. You know, you can see there that you have a little bit of grass and then wall. It's almost like a street track. It's actually a track on an island here in Montreal, but there's not a lot of room for error. You see that James Miller actually using all of the racetrack that he paid 14.95 for, I believe, here. Kicking up some dirt. He's currently running there in the P4 position. So a good little gain. He started P8 on the field, so he was able to use that standing start to his advantage and get some good ground there. So see if he can make up some headway. We were looking at Matt Hackathorn there for a second. Similar truck to James Miller. They're doing the Timmy's thing again there, going through the field. Santiago Aguirre, he is back in P7. Austin Beers, P8. And then here's Darren Staff. He actually had a pretty terrible start off the line. Started in P4. Now he's running P11. Just made the move on Thomas Capuano for P10 into the chicane here and give that to him. So very long way for him to get back up to where he started. And we don't have a lot of time here, Ty. 9 laps to go. Laps are about 10 seconds over a minute and a half. So probably, you know, around 15 minutes of time left in the race before we oh, Jake Scarborough, as I was saying that, he's all sorts of sideways into the grass. I think he hit the grass on the entry to that corner and just kind of scooted out of the racing line a little bit. He's actually going to lose the spot to his teammate there in P6.
Santi, somebody we talked to, obviously, a couple weeks before the playoffs started, and you know we had asked him about you know, if he felt like he could lock in, and obviously he's done that. You know, he's made a really good run through these playoffs so far, and you see he makes some mistakes, and now Jake's going to take that spot back from him. But somebody that has done a great job of locking in and really putting himself in a better position. When I asked him about how he felt going into tonight's race, he said that after Tuesday he didn't have too much confidence. So, you know, I would say that might have changed a little bit. Obviously, he's still sitting 7th, but see Darren Staff trying to get around Austin Beers. It's interesting to see the way that these guys change their perspectives once they get track time on these road courses that some of these guys have never driven before on the service.
Yeah, this one is pretty tough. I actually was doing some practice earlier, and you know, you can't really. This is a very flat road course. Of course, we know F1 races here for their Canadian Grand Prix, one of the better races every year, I think. And it's a very flat racetrack. There's not a lot of banking or elevation change. Oh, yep. Lead change. Daniel Gore gets around Noah Brown, and actually pretty immediately already gets a second lead on Noah. So we'll probably see that 69 scoot away here. We'll be interesting to see if Noah can do anything with that lead. Maybe follow Daniel and keep his tires cool here. David Westergreen on pit road for something. Ooh, actually, well, as I say that, Noah gets all sorts of sideways there, and I think the whole saving tires thing is quite out of the question. A little battle here, a little bit further on back for the 6th spot. That's Jake Scarborough and Santiago Aguirre, the two teammates going at it for Redux. And they are actually kind of in a little bit of a points battle for that elimination spot. We'll have to pull that up here shortly. But the last 3 drivers after tonight's race are going to be eliminated. So you see Scarborough, Westergreen, Thomas, where the last 3 coming into tonight's race. So Santiago Aguirre, he is only 4 points ahead of Jake Scarborough. So they are effectively kind of fighting for that last spot here. But we do have 2 halves of racing tonight for points to be accrued. So we'll get a further update later on for that for you as well.
Somebody that we've kind of had our camera on, we're going to put it right back on in there. Austin Beers, he's fighting with Darren Staff. He was one of the guys that I thought of instantly with this playoff format when I looked at Montreal as somebody that is good everywhere else, but struggles just a little bit on the road courses. And when I sent my questions out earlier today, I had asked him, you know, how are you feeling besides the loss? And I didn't mean that as a knock on Beers. It's just that Beers on road courses, he's not had a winning pace. And I mean, he's top 10. He's fighting with Darren Staff, who's been somebody that's really consistent. But he said that he really just wanted to have 2 0x halves, and he didn't care where he finished. He just wanted those 2 bonus points that would maybe try to help him a little bit. and then he could outduel everybody else. And I think that's been one of the things I told David a lot, was that you don't have to outrun the bear. You just have to not be the slowest and let the bear chase you. The bear being the cut line. So I don't know. I think Beers is doing a fantastic job. D West struggling a little bit. I think he might have just done himself in with this first half. Dylan Thomas also might be in some deep waters.
I think all three of those drivers, Ty, they've all been pretty vocal about their, let's say, lack of loving road courses. Really, Western, I think, anytime you mention a road course, ooh, 48, Aaron Evans sideways. He's in the tire barriers. As we were saying, though, I think Westergreen, anytime you bring up a road course, though, he kind of starts going a little bit haywire, says he doesn't like them and all that. Kind of Jones there. He's currently P14, about 30 seconds off the lead. Is there damage to that truck? Is that skew normal?
No, that's some left front beat in and some right front beat in, and that's not the kind of beat that Beyonce wanted to bring in. Yeah, no, that's real bad.
I am not sure what happened there. He must have hit some kind of wall or some car or something really
Well, that
hard.
was from the initial start of the race. I think, I don't remember if Kynan overdrove turn 1 or somebody else overdrove turn 1 into Kynan, but he did have contact there on that first corner.
That's one heck of a way to start the race. Okay, well. Good luck to him, because that looks pretty awful to drive. I would not want to be out there right now doing it myself. We have seen Kynan drive some pretty sideways cars a couple weeks ago. Where was it? When we were at Daytona, was it? When... Let me see. No, it wasn't Daytona.
It wasn't this league.
It was,
It was a different series.
another one. Another one, yeah.
It was Daytona, though. He was completely sideways skewed, so...
Yeah, very so.
We
know he can do it.
Update.
Some pretty impossible situations.
We have a new car exiting Pear Road.
Is that Tail Idol? He's here!
Now, is he going to be
overlap.
starting from the rear of the field since he missed practice?
Well, you know, Carlos, we're halfway through the race. I think he's already... that's more of a penalty enough, you know? When you cook it that bad, we're pretty cooked.
Also,
Interesting shot
Noah
there.
Brown has dropped from 2nd to 4th.
Oh, no. So he's maybe gotten the tires a little too worn and is starting to feel the effects of them.
Yeah, that's probably what I would have to say is maybe going on with the how...
A little hot there, maybe.
I was going to say Ooh. Yeah, took the Sebastian Vettel line there through that corner. And definitely struggling for rear grip. I was going to kind of get into this earlier. We saw some action on track, though. But without a lot of elevation or banking here at Montreal, it's really easy to get the tires kind of buzzed up and get yourself all sorts of sideways, especially on exit to these corners. So that's probably what we're seeing here with the 65. Actually, James Miller in the 09, he started in P8, and he's actually kind of running down the 69 of Daniel Gore. So we'll keep an eye on that gap. That gap is fluctuating a little bit, 2.3 to 2.1-ish as we were looking at it there. But James Miller has won at this track in other cars and other leagues before in the past, actually quite a few times that I was in him. So he is pretty good at this track. So we will keep an eye on him. But yeah, very easy to light the rear tires up at this track because it's so flat and you just don't have a lot of banking or elevation to kind of catch you when you get on the gas. So unfortunately for Noah, I think he's going to have to deal with that until the end of this race because we aren't going to need any pit stops.
Definitely something that he's probably going to remember for the second half and try to keep in that cap up there. But looking at this, so it's a full field invert. So maybe I would have to imagine that Tate probably doesn't get Aaron Evans with more trouble. I don't know exactly where this is. This is
Pit lane.
Oh, Wall of Champions. It must have decided to not hit that and went left instead. That's a good choice. To see James Miller's going to go flying by him there. Shout out to Bojo, by the way. I've got to look at this truck, but we haven't really got to say anything. The half Pushkin half. Is it Luna? Maybe it's Luna. I forget his second cat's name all the time. I think it is Luna.
I believe you are correct. Yes.
So, a beautiful work there. It's very reminiscent of the old Casey Kane car. I can't. It's like it was a cartoon, and I can see it, but I can't think of the name of it. But there was an agent in a white suit and an agent in a black suit, and I can't remember what it was called. But that's besides the point. That's unrelevant. Very irrelevant.
If you're a Tate Lytle fan, look away.
Oh no. Head into the hairpin.
Oh, sorry, he didn't crash. He just came to a stop
Okay.
and took a tow.
Oh.
Tate Lytle fans rejoice. He's fine. Danny G's out to a pretty significant lead here, about 2 seconds over James Miller as they head through the hairpin. See Aaron Evans a lap down behind them. Bojo third, fourth Noah Brown, fifth Matt Hackathorn, sixth Jake Scarborough. Santi still sitting seventh. Austin Beer still eighth. Darren Staff has got around Thomas Capiano, so he's pushed up into the top 10. Thomas now sits 10th. Dylan Thomas 13th or 12th. Sorry. David Westergreen 16th. So obviously the points that they brought into the round will play a factor, but I don't think it's going to help those three that are at the bottom of these playoff gaps.
No, and we do have another half a racing to go, and I think the full field invert is going to play a factor into how that kind of shakes out tonight, because I think we're going to see a bit of a mess on the start. I mean, we're seeing a standing start, and fast guys are all going to be at the back, slow guys are all going to be at the front. So this is not a track with a lot of room for error or a lot of room to make even moves on. So it could be a bit of a mess at the start, and could see whatever happens. It might be something really wild.
I mean, we saw chaos on the initial start, so I can't imagine what might happen on the second one. Especially with these guys knowing that maybe they, going into the first half when they were going towards turn one, they knew that they might have had a little bit of a buffer to now start half two and know that they need to get more. They're probably going to try to take those spots instead of being lenient.
Absolutely. So I think this is the best battle on the track right now. This is the battle for P12 on the track. Actually, Gilly's going for it.
Austin Beers just got around Santi. Beers slipped a little. Santi's going to be on his outside there. They might be too wide headed to the hairpin here.
Very hard to keep that. If you're on the outside where Santi was on that corner, it's very hard to keep the truck, to keep the gas in it. But good job by these two drivers to give a lot of room and show respect here, coming through turn 10.
Yes,
Santi's
thank you,
gonna get
Zach.
the
Spy
advantage.
versus Spy. Sorry. It was called Spy versus Spy. Zach Evans, we miss you, buddy. Austin Beers is going to the outside of Santi here. This is going to be tricky if he goes through it, and he's going to. They're going to be side by side through the chicane. Beers is going to let him go. Santi's going to get through. Neither driver in the Wall of Champions will be allowed. Oh, Santi with some grass. Oh, boy. Hold on to it, driver.
Good move there. Textbook move, really, at the Wall of Champions. Just, outbreaking your opponent, and it's all about just keeping your momentum up through that corner, because Santi a little bit wide there through turn 2. Keeps it under him. But yeah, a lot of this racetrack is about momentum. Ooh, Santi. I was looking at the bottom screen, but Santi went off the racetrack there in turn 4. It was, I believe. Keeps it going straight.
Give that to Austin Beers. He's going to slide through. Not over yet, though. We still have just about a lap and a half for these guys.
Aaron Evans doing his best Carlos Acosta impersonation.
Oh, Santi just missed the corner. He's in the wall. He's going to be in the sand trap.
That keeps it going straight. I don't think... Oh, those rear tires are all sorts of dirty. He is having trouble getting that going straight again. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be under fire from Staff just yet. There's a little bit of gap there, but he has pretty much lost all of that gap. So one more mistake, I think Staff might be looking at a P8 here. But up at the front here, we're still looking at the battle for 12. On back, up at the front, not much has changed. Daniel Gore still with a 2.5+ second lead over James Miller. And last lap here at the racetrack. We have about, I know this track is 4.4 kilometers. What is that in freedom units?
Yeah.
I believe 2.71 miles to go.
We measure in washing machines here. I don't really know. Go look at Kynan Jones there, Dylan Thomas. Do we? I've never heard of that one. Footlongs, of course, right? Brats.
No, like hot dogs.
Yeah. There's footlong hot dogs. I guess they're called conies, but that's besides the point. Danny G heading into the back half of the 11th lap here. He's going to head to that chicane right before the hairpin straightaway. And he's going to have a pretty sound victory here in half number 1 with all things considered. As long as he keeps that truck on the racetrack. See Kynan Jones putting pressure on his teammate, or well, former teammate, sorry, Dylan Thomas, for the 13th spot, or 12th spot. Danny G's out of the hairpin just fine. Maybe took it a little more cautious. Didn't have to push too hard. He's got one more set of corners, and it will be victory lane for driver 69, James Miller. Keeping the pressure on him there for second. Bojo pretty soundly ahead for third, and then you see the squabble here for fourth on back. Noah Brown, Matt Hackathorn, Jake Scarborough. But Danny G's going to have no pressure as he heads by the wall of champions, Cam.
Yep, that's actually win number 3 on the season. I was having to look at that myself because that's pretty surprising. Doing a little bit of a weave down the back, or down the front stretch. But he is the winner here at Montreal. 3rd win of the season, and actually 1st since Las Vegas in March. So wild run for Daniel Gore here, but starting the playoffs just right, just what he needs here. James Miller comes home in P2, 1.6 seconds behind Ray Bracey. Bojo comes home P3. Hackathorn, Brown, Scarborough, the battle for P8 rages on, but Santiago Aguirre, he gets it from Darren Staff. Looks like Thomas Capuano. Going to round out your top 10 here. So it was Hackathorn, Brown, Scarborough, Beers, Aguirre, Staff, and then Capuano to round out the top 10. I think I missed 2 there, but Thomas going spinning there in turn 1. Good race here, though. Pretty quick to go by, and I think just about what we expected.
Yeah, no, I mean, there was some passing. Just saw guys might have burned their tires up a little bit and then fell back, and then the guys that might have laid in the weeds there early on, they made their way through. But your usual candidates up there front, Danny G, James Miller with Bojo, man, they were hauling.
Absolutely. Going to be a different type of hauling, though, for half number 2. We have a full field invert, and we're going to see all of these drivers start inverse of where they finish. So Daniel Gore is going to start P last in half number 2. He finishes P1 in half number 1. James Miller finishes in 2nd. Bojo, Ray Bracey comes home in 3rd. Matt Hackathorn, pretty good drive from P7 up to P4 for him. Noah Brown, your pole sitter, he fell back to P5. I guess those rear tires just kind of past their use by date. Jake Scarborough, he comes home in P6. Austin Beers, P7. Santiago Aguirre comes home in P8. He was able to hold off Darren Staff for P9. Thomas Capuano, P10. Dallas Mayan, P11. Kynan Jones, P12. That was Dylan Thomas, P12. Kynan Jones, P13. Gilberto Javier Gamera, P14. David Westergreen, P15. Aaron Evans, P16. And Tate Lytle with about 5 corners of racing, it looks like, under his belt here. Comes home in P17. So presumably, if he is here, I suppose he would be starting on pole for half number 2.
We will have to wait and see, but I believe it is time for our half number 2 picks.
Almost time, I guess. Oh, here we go.
Give me a moment. I'm just.
All right, no problems.
Good.
See James Miller. That's heck, dude. See, that's what I'm talking about. They do this, right? And then I see the 0 and I go, oh yeah, it's Matt. Did they swap schemes? Because I could have swore that's the one that James normally runs.
No. Inverse.
Is that what it is? Okay, that'll do it.
Yeah, they're just inverted, yeah.
Okay.
Is this the track where Marcus Ambrose choked away an Xfinity win to Carl Edwards in the last lap?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, have 2 picks. You're up. First, you, darling.
Oh, I thought I finished 3rd.
No, shut up.
I'm gonna pick James Miller.
Good pick. Cam, you're up.
Okay, I gotta take a bit of a risk here. Well, actually, I can't pick Noah, can I?
You cannot.
What have I done?
Okay, well, I'll go ahead and just pick Daniel Gore. Let's get that out of the way.
Why?
Oh, is it me? Is it me now?
It's you now.
Oh, this is great. Thanks, Cam. You could have waited one more pick. Oof. Yeah, I'm gonna go with somebody that qualified good, had a little bit of a struggle. Give me Darren Stepp.
I like that pick. Carlos, who you got?
I got my money on Santiago Aguirre, who needs to turn on his webcam, even though he said he cleaned his room.
TP, who you got?
Let's go with Hackman.
Good pick. Thank you guys for picking all the picks that I wanted. I really appreciate that. That's
Yeah, you're welcome, dude.
my favorite thing. I'm gonna go with Ray Bracey.
See, you still got a good one.
Yeah, well, you know.
I guess so. All right, well, that is our half number 2 picks. To see, there we go. There's the other 10 bits guy. They're participating in the backwards driving. I'd have to imagine that somewhere Tomater is screaming with glee.
You know, this track's pretty difficult going the right way around it. I gotta assume it's a little bit more going this way.
Especially when you're that close to a teammate. That's a little uncozy.
That's pretty
half
impressive.
this bit. Oh, made Miller have to go wide. Oh boy.
Ooh, he's gonna be in the wall. No.
Oh,
I'm gonna have to get a picture of this.
Oh, yeah, yeah, dude. Look at James. James is not scared of the power. He
What
throttled up,
a-
went around him.
What an overtake! Wow.
What a maneuver. That's a
Oh,
dog.
he's a little bit loose.
Oh, boys. Oh, boy.
Oh, he's
James.
loose.
Okay, that was sick. All right. Yeah. Is he gonna reverse entry? What are we? Hey, did he just Scandinavian flick?
Is James just trying to? He's trying to show off here.
Gang is out here
And he's-
doing Gymkhana.
Into turn 10. Max got the lead.
There we go. But we saw James. He put the power down that last long straightaway.
These front wheel drive trucks, technically. Oh, this chicane's gonna be tricky.
Yeah, I feel like we might see a casualty. James is closing the distance.
Yeah, he's doing well.
He's
Using that draft to his advantage.
got to set it up though.
I don't think it's close. I don't think he's close enough. But
I don't
we'll see
know.
if he can.
Got 5 seconds.
We'll see if he can make a move here.
Oh. Hack with a good move. James is hitting the curves, going backward.
Oh, Aaron! No! Oh, and Knack's dead.
Oh, James, you
Aaron
can still
Evans decided that was not going to be happening in his time.
Aaron Evans ruined
All
a number of
right.
things for OSCA viewers, and that was one of them.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, actually, I mean, we have another race here, so we can go ahead and get that going.
All right, get a good look at the pace truck there. It's not going to be used at all. Probably not. That poor guy's just getting paid to sit there. I believe we had a points update, but there was a lot of information given out, and I don't quite remember who was where. I believe Jake is 1 point above the cut line of Tom, David, and Dylan, is what I remember. Santi and Darren are 3 ahead of the cut line. So Jake on the cut, David, Tom, Dylan, one below.
Yep, and team points still the same as before. This is going to be interesting because we obviously fulfilled invert. So we are going to be seeing a lot happening here into turn number 1. Do we have a word if Tate is actually looks like he's going to take the start of the race here?
Yeah, he's on track.
Let's get to the grid.
I'm a little worried.
We'll see if he actually makes a lap, but it's Tate Lytle rolling off P1. Aaron Evans, we saw how he took the chicane in practice. He rolls off P2. Look for that to be a lap here of Montreal for that number 48 car. The number 9 of Dave Westergain rolls off in P3. Gilberto Javier Gamero rolls off in P4. The number 99, Weekends Woodman Machine. Kynan Jones rolls off in P5. We know he's good at the road courses usually, so let's see if he can do something. Dylan Thomas, P6. Dallas Myhan rolls off P7. Thomas Capuano, P8. Darren Staff, P9. Santiago Guerri, P10. Austin Beers, P11. Jake Scarborough, P12. Noah Brown, P13. Matt Hackathorn, P14. Ray Bracey, P15. And then your top 2 from half number 1, James Miller, P16. And Daniel Gore, P17. We've got 5 seconds for the grid. Let's go, Ty.
Going to be absolutely insane. Again, we don't have a lights out call, but we will call it as soon as we can see it. Aaron Evans is going to start on the outside. That's going to be somebody to watch here.
And
Everybody's on the throttle.
we're going
green. Everybody good, kind of with another good start. He's going to jump David Westergreen. He's going to get to the inside of his teammate Gilly if Gilly's going to let him. Not quite. Aaron Evans going to be side by. Oh, Aaron Evans is way off.
Yep, he's going to have to take the access road through turn 1. He's going to stop and pretty much have to let the whole field by. So, yikes, that's not how you want to start here at Montreal. Kynan Jones up to P2.
Absolutely great start for him. Somebody that is fantastic on these road courses. Gilly taking good advantage of his starting spot. Thomas Capuano, he's 4th right now. All those guys that need good races are currently atop. We're going to see if these guys can pass, though. That's going to be the big thing. They start off good. They got to take advantage of it. Oh, we got a cluster there. Danny G, Dallas Myhan, Noah Brown, James Miller, Bojo, Matt Hackathorn. They are all clustered up there trying to get around these trucks.
Yeah, that's P10 back to P16. And it's a lot of trucks to be going into up here into P8, or excuse me, turn 8. Ooh, Bojo with a move on the inside of Noah Brown. It looks like I think he's going to get that done. Not quite. It actually loses a spot to Dallas Myhan in that exchange. So not what he's looking for. But Tate Lytle, the last place driver for half number 1, didn't even complete a full lap, I don't believe. He's got about a 1.3 second lead over Kynan Jones, and then it's further 3 seconds back to Gilberto Javier Gamera in P3. We are going to be kind of keeping an eye on the back half of the field a little bit more because the invert drivers are going to have to start to make their way forward, and I do believe that the biggest mover so far, I think, is Thomas Capuano up 4th spot. So very good start for him. Oh, Gore, yeah, he's up P5 spots now, so give that award to Gore. He's up to P11 behind Austin Beers. There's David Westergreen up in P7. Top
so
of your
far,
screen.
everybody's kept it kind of cordial. Matt Hackathorn, he's hanging on back there. I think a lot of it is going to be these guys maybe trying to be patient, realizing how hard they drove the first half. They're going to try to take it easier in the second half. At least that's what I would have to imagine, right? Especially with the way that the points are looking. If you're somebody that's on the cut line, you've got to go, but also you don't want to burn your stuff up. So, I don't know. This playoff format has opened my eyes to so many different things that, like, normally we don't think if we have multiple weeks, right? But, like, when you have one night, you have so many things you have to balance at once, and it's so tricky.
Yeah, and I was talking to a couple of drivers earlier, and they were saying if they weren't really in the battle for the win, really just kind of have a clean night and try to get the points with the 0x. So that is, here at Montreal, it's so easy to get the 1x before going off into the grass at any of these tracks. Ooh, that's a battle there for P5. Dylan Thomas and Santiago Aguirre going at it. Looks like Santi's going to get the good run down the backstretch into the gain. Probably take that spot relatively easy. So give P5 to the number 88 truck. Dylan Thomas actually looking for a crossover. I think he's going to blow the corner. Doesn't actually blow the corner at all.
That's
Actually,
wild.
does a really good move. He must have been standing on those brakes high.
He, normally we would say he threw him on the dash. I think he threw him on the brake pedal right there, and he was somehow able to make that stick. But he's going to take that spot back from Santee. Nothing in the top 5 has changed in a minute. Kynan Jones still second, Gilly still third, Tate Lytle still your leader here as we are 2 laps in to the second half of the Bojo's Quick Shifts Grand Prix. See Darren Staff looking to the outside of Austin Beers. This is going to be a tricky corner to get that done. It's going to have the advantage for that part of the turn. Danny G's going to have it. He's probably going to get clear there. Another tricky corner here is actually this one. You wouldn't think that it's that bad. But, you're turning the car and then you're trying to get all the way up against the wall to get a good corner in. Oh, David Westergreen might have trouble. A little loose there. Austin Beers going to get by. Danny G is going to get by. Darren Staff's going to get by. He's just going to move out of the way. He knows.
Yeah, interesting move there, and I think, ooh, that was flying sideways there, but yeah, I can't say I understand because he did have the track position. I mean, I feel like he might as well fight for it, but maybe he's just kind of not comfortable enough on these road courses to do anything with it, so fair play to him. I just, I can't say I understand it 100%, but, ooh, Noah Brown sideways.
Him and Ray
That's
Bracey
in
had
the
issues.
hairpin. And as we were talking, David Westergreen is going to gain about 2 of those spots he gave away. There's this little exchange here. So let's see what happens. I think a little bit of contact from behind. Noah Brown gets a little punt from the 7 of Ray Bracey. I think Ray just got in the gas a little bit earlier than Noah there, and around he went.
Yeah, Noah had a little bit of a roadblock in front of him there. Couldn't throttle up too much. Oh, Austin Beers. A little bit of an awkward merge there with Darren Staff.
Turn 2. That's not. They must have missed his braking point for that corner and might have taken the access road here. Here's Daniel Gore up to P8. So he is up 8 spots from his P16 starting position. Or excuse me, P17. He's up 9 spots. On board Santiago Guerrero. Look at him wheel that wheel through I believe that's turn 5. Definitely not a Sunday drive here. He is having to crank that wheel and just drive the thing, keep it under control here, almost into the back of that number 13 of Dylan Thomas. These two have been at it all race high. We saw Dylan Thomas with that absolutely astounding move on the brakes into the chicane, and they have not been able to get away from each other. Ooh, here comes Santiago on the brakes into the hairpin. If he can keep it under, I think he's going to get the spot here. Yes, he does. Keeps it under him. Ooh, contact from behind. That's 77 of Jake Scarborough. There's all sorts of contact here coming out of that hairpin die. And, well, about 3 position changes there in about the span of 100 feet.
Yeah, looked like Dylan. Well, looking at this, I can't really say that's on Dylan Thomas. Jake kind of gets the curb, throttles up, and slides into the door of Dylan Thomas. So I can't really say that's on Dylan. Looked like Jake might have just thought he could get on the throttle. Obviously, when you're looking at a guy in front of you, you're 1 point above the cut line. You're going to try to get those points, and a costly mistake there for Jake Scarborough. That's going to possibly throw things under the bus for him there.
And right in front of his teammate too, Daniel Gore, narrowly missing that by about a couple feet. So Gore up to P7 with that move, making pretty good headway. I gotta say, he's probably not going to get to Tate Lytle by the end of this race. He is 9 seconds behind at this point and has 6 more cars to pass, which I think he probably will get a couple of those. But Daniel Gore is doing about the best you can do with the situation given to you. Starting to see last in an invert race where the whole field has inverted. So keeping it clean and keeping it on the track. Now looking for P6 here down the back stretch. I think he's probably going to get that on Dylan Thomas pretty easily. And, behind him, look at that. 09, all sorts of sideways. He is not doing the Daniel Gore strategy and keeping it calm. He is trying to go for it. And I think, actually, we'll have to check on those rear tires. Ooh, there's some contact between the 41 and the 7. Somewhere, something happened to those two. I saw it in the corner of my eye. Let's see what happened, but that's on the back half of the track, about turn 8, turn 9. Actually, 3 cars involved. Austin Beers also involved there. Wow.
Dallas, my hand hit the brakes crazy early there. I think that was earlier than. I mean, I would have to guess that's pretty early because for Beers to be flying in there like that, that's got to be a pretty early breaking point there.
That was wild. Ooh, contact 45 and 69. Yes, Daniel Gore and Darren Staff. Daniel Gore was able to keep it straight. Darren Staff did not. And, wow. We're just running into each other all sorts of everywhere tonight.
Yeah, looking at the incident with Bojo and Dallas. Dallas hit the brakes pretty early. Beers flew into that, so that's Beers' pretty significant damage. Dallas then drove across the racetrack and hit Bojo again. So Bojo, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot going on.
Oh,
More contact.
Yeah, points tally's out the window. I can't keep track of any of this right now. This is not good.
That's good. Through turn 4 and 5 there, James Miller and Dylan Thomas were door banging and able to keep it straight there. Let's see if there's any retaliatory contact there. I wouldn't expect so. That's just racing, but definitely hard racing on board here with Darren Staff. We saw him kind of into the back of the 69 there a couple laps ago.
Oh.
He's going to go sideways, spinning around in turn 6 there. Excuse me, turn 7. And, well, he's had an interesting half number 2. I'd have to say, Ty.
We really just we keep going on board with these guys at the worst possible times. Darren with pretty bad right front damage there. Lots of stuff going on. Looking at back up front, nothing has really changed besides Santiago getting around Thomas, so that's pretty big there. Danny G 6th, James Miller 7th, Dylan Thomas 8th, Jake Scarborough 9th. Western Green Staff, Prix, Beers, they are 12th through 15th. Your notable playoff guys that are not the top 3 are Noah Brown, Matt Hackathorn, they're 10th and 11th. Dallas Myhand, he is 16th. Aaron Evans is out of the race, he is 17th.
And very interesting to note that the top 3 are all non-playoff drivers. Dallas Myhand just sent his car off into the gravel and retired it. So he is out of the race. James Miller, currently P7. He was up to the back of the 69 a couple laps ago. I think that a little kerfuffle that happened on the backstretch with everybody kind of congealing into one big blob of car halted that progress just a little bit. He's fallen about a second and a half behind that number 69. That the second and a half? I think that's about a second right now. So about a second behind the 69 there for the 09 of Miller. I think, let's see, who's the next one who might be under fire from Gore? It looks like the Capuano, about 3/10 ahead right now. Actually, that's not 3/10, it's about a second. Well, it was decreasing rapidly, but here Daniel Gore goes for the move onto into the turn 10 hairpin there and give him a P5 from Thomas Capuano. I can't imagine that Capuano is going to give too much of a fight to Miller either, being a teammate. Probably will get him here into the backstretch game. But 5 laps to go. We're coming to 4 to go. And not much racing time left here. So Daniel Gore, if he wants to get another spot, he's going to have to run down that number 88 of Santiago Aguirre, which is his teammate, about 2 seconds down the road.
Looking a little further back, Bojo, 13th, somebody that I think will have the points to rely on. If he's a little more comfortable and maybe can find the pace, I think he can maybe get to David Westergreen for that extra point. Dylan Thomas, just look at him. He's 8th right now. Him and Tom, they were both 1 point. I believe at least Tom was 1 point out of the cut. That's going to be a huge shakeup with everything currently going on. I'm not sure how that's going to work. But Vic's going to have some math to do, and we're going to have some news for you at the end of this race, and it's probably going to take a minute. Yeah, math is hard. I was going to try to do it. I can't. There's so much going on. It's like I put the points on the paper, and then I'm like, I have to erase the point because somebody passed somebody. It's bad. It's hard out here for a PAM.
Hopefully Vic's been keeping track of this in Excel or something like that and keeping it up to date, because I would like a pretty updated number after the race if we can get one. But if we gotta wait, we will definitely let you guys know. Still not much happening at the front. The gap still about 3.5 to 4 seconds It's fluctuating a little bit between Tate Lytle and Kynan Jones. Gilberto Javier Gomera is in no man's land. He's 7 seconds off the lead and has about 3 seconds behind him back to the next car of Santiago Aguirre in P4. There is 4 laps to go, and that Daniel Gore machine of 69 is very, very quick right now, so there might be a battle there. I'm not sure. I think Gilly is running pretty good lap times, so I think he might hold on to that spot, but definitely, I think, a little further on back, a little bit settled out. Dan Staff's had a bit of a rough night. He's fallen away from the field. Austin Beers, not the night he's wanted it either. He's fallen away. Ray Bracey, he had a pretty good half number 1, and he's not having a pretty good half number 2 here. So, yeah, some trouble for these drivers in the back. Probably expecting a little bit more from at least Ray Bracey and Darren Staff as well. Austin Beers, he doesn't give himself enough credit. I think he says he's like the worst driver on road courses and will usually get like a P4. So a bit of a rough night for that 19. But up here at the front, Gilberto was he's in P3.
Talk about somebody that needed a good night. Gilly has not had the greatest luck. He's had some races where he put himself in good spots and just had some things not fall through. So even if this ends up just being a top 5 for Gilly, that is still a great night for him, and I'm sure he's having the time of his life right now wheeling that number 99 machine.
Battle for 4th.
Absolutely.
And 5th.
James Miller, Santee, they're fighting for the 5th spot. Danny G just passed Santee for the 4th spot. So they're going to be side by side through the hairpin. Santee either going for a crossover or letting him go. Might have went for a crossover. He's going to be a little loose, though, so hand that spot to James Miller by a pretty cordial margin. Tate Lytle's going to make his way through the chicane near the Wall of Champions. It's going to be 2 to go this time by for the field.
Kynan Jones actually has made that gap between them a little bit shorter. It's 3 seconds now. It was 4 and change a couple laps ago. And see on lap 7 and lap 9, Kynan was 1.4 seconds quicker than Tate Lytle on lap 7. That's pretty wild. I'm wondering if something happened. Maybe he was passing some traffic or something, but Gilberto also 8/10 quicker than Tate on lap 7. So I think something happened at 56 for sure. And maybe lap 9, or maybe he's just kind of saving a little bit. He's got 2 laps to go and about a 4-second lead. I don't think there's really any point in pushing too hard at this point.
Yeah, no, if you're Tate, you've got a 3-second gap. If Kynan closes a little, you might want to turn up the heat a little, but keep it under you. Don't push yourself too hard. Tate's also won most OSCA races this season out of anybody, so I'm sure you don't have to tell him that, but Danny G kind of closing in on Gilly, but also not really. So I would have to imagine that Gilly might be able to hold on for P3 here. James Miller has pulled away from Santee by about 2 seconds now, so that battle's over. But Danny G under pressure from James Miller right now.
Yep, around the outside of the chicane or the hairpin, usually not going to work too incredibly well. The grip's definitely on the inside of the racetrack, but they are. It is going to be a battle here into the chicane on the back stretch. Let's turn 13 here or 12 and 13 technically here at Montreal, because they do name all their S's and chicane-like corners as 2 corners, which I strongly disagree with, but not my track. Last lap here. Tate with a 4-second lead now over Kynan Jones, so kind of just toying with it. I think he's probably well on his way to another win here, but the battle for P4 rages on pretty hard. Gore and Miller going at it, and I think these two. The 77 Scarborough back in P8. He's all sort of sideways.
Have to imagine that's another situation where he knows Tom is somebody that is 1 point below the cut to him, so he's going to try to get that spot. Obviously, when you're in these situations, you have to take the situations you know, right? If you know one guy's 1 point below you, you can't factor anything else in. You just got to go off what you know and not what you think. So Jake's probably going to be really aggressive here and try to get this by the end of the lap.
And Jake has to get those points. He had a P12 finish in half number 1, which probably not what he was looking for. And he's been a little bit better on the other road courses that we've seen him on, but just not having the speed here tonight to be able to do much more than back half of the top 10, even outside of it a little bit. So maybe we'll see a desperation move into the hairpin. Not much time left for him to be able to do anything on this racetrack, so we'll see what he can do here. But Tate Lytle down the backstretch, he's extended that lead to almost 5 seconds now. He can probably coast from here, shut the car off, and have a cup of coffee. He's going to come through the Wall of Champions and not have a chance to win one this year in the OSCA Weekend Woodsman Series, but he's going to get another win on the season for Tate Lytle. Make that number, I don't know what it is. I think it's number 7 on the season for Tate, maybe number 8, but he gets it done. He gets it done here at Montreal. Kind of Jones with a P2. And Gilberto, I think, just so barely is going to hold on to P3. Good big charge from Daniel Gore there at the end. He holds on to P4 over James Miller. And here is Santiago Aguirre, P6. Thomas Capuano, P7.
Noah Brown, P8. Did he have a penalty?
Oh, did he?
That's huge. Jake Scarborough might have just... Wow.
Yeah,
Those points are going to be costly. That's huge.
Might be all she wrote for the elimination. Did he cut the chicane?
I would have to imagine that had to have been it, right? Because I don't think gas was an issue. I thought 13 laps was the number that we had there. Yeah, hearing from Scarborough over the voice chat, he had 0.2 seconds left on the slowdown. He ended up getting bumped to the last position on the finishing lap. He was on the brakes trying to slow down, so we're going to see victualling there. If that isn't the case, if that is the case, he'll get those 5 points back instead of finishing 15th. But if that isn't,
we were finishing 17th.
No, he's 15th. He's got a last car on the lap.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is wild there. That shows you how harsh iRacing's penalty system can be. But I think a couple drivers who are not at risk of falling out, James Miller and Daniel Gore, they are going to move on to the next round. Probably, I would have to think that Dylan Thomas is going to be good. We'll have to check on him because he had a pretty good night. Finished P6 and P9. Nice. But we'll have to get some interviews for you. Let's, I think because we had a little bit of a short broadcast tonight, we might be able to get 1 or 2 more in than normal. So we'll see. But here's our results for tonight. And I feel like I've been talking over you a little bit, Ty. Why don't you go ahead and take it away?
All right. Well, Tate Lytle, he's going to take half number 2. Kynan Jones second. Gilberto is going to be P3. Excited to talk to him. Danny G P4. P5 James Miller. 6 for Santiago Aguirre, right? I feel like I've said it wrong every time.
Yeah.
Aguirre?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Because we give each other crap about that. I wanted to make sure I did it right this time. Thomas Capuano 7th, Noah Brown 8th, Dylan Thomas 9th, Matt Hackathorn P10, David Westergreen 11th, 12th for Austin Beers, 13th for Ray Bracey, 14th for Darren Staff, 15th for Scarborough. As of the moment, it could go back to 10th. We're not sure yet. Dallas Myhan 16th, and Aaron Evans did not finish the race. He is P17. And I believe, do we want to go ahead and start with our 3, 2, 1? Because they're all three actually not playoff drivers, which is kind of crazy to say that. So I guess we'll start with Gilly, and then we'll try to work through up to Tate, and then we'll figure out who's eliminated. Maybe chat with some of those drivers or the guys that barely made it in. So, Cam, do you want to take Gilly, or do you want me to?
I was going to say, why don't you go ahead and take Gilly?
All right. Gilly, it's time for the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Oh, hi. I wasn't expecting this.
Hey, buddy. Well, you, sir, drove your butt off, and you hung on. I mean, this truck looked moody, but you hung on. You got yourself a P3. How does it feel this late in the season?
Oh, it feels absolutely amazing. I was not expecting a podium at all tonight. I was just hoping to just keep the truck in one piece, which I managed to do that both halves, thankfully. And I was expecting to just get past and maybe even get a top 5 or top 10 finish, but a podium is very nice to definitely accomplish tonight with kind of nice double podium for Weekend Woodsman. So it was a great night overall, and looking forward to going at it again next week.
right, buddy. So, I mean, obviously, I know you like the road courses. You're pretty good at them. Was this something that you had circled on your schedule? Is play a spoiler, or were you just kind of like unsure and this just happened?
Ty, don't lie to me. You know I'm not good at road courses, so
You're not
I'm
bad.
I'm decent at best. I'm definitely no level like Tate Lytle or Daniel Gore or any of those guys that are always up front. I think I'm a good like top 15, top 10 guy for the most part, depending on the road course. But Montreal was a track that I was looking forward to. Last time we ran in there, I think was with the Gen 6 card when I was running the Ford, and I think I had a top 10. I finished 13th in the other one, so I was looking forward to this road course. It's one of the only road courses I'm good at for some reason. That in Long Beach, and I was definitely looking forward to tonight. It's definitely going to help with points for the best of the rest. That's kind of like that battle I'm going after now, since I'm not in the playoffs. But yeah, I guess I could say that I was looking forward to tonight, but I wasn't expecting this result, so I'm very happy with it.
All right, buddy. Well, before we let you go, anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, shout out to Miss Goodies for always, representing the brand and having them on board for like the past 6 seasons. Shout out to Tim and Weekend Woodsmen for letting me run for them this season. Shout out to you guys for, like always putting on a great broadcast. And shout out to Kynan too. He actually he actually helped me get a little bit better at road coursing and learning how to use the pedals a bit better and actually being a little bit more smooth. And I'm pretty sure that's what helped me get the podium tonight.
All right, buddy. Well, it's good to hear from you. We got a couple more races this season. Hopefully, we get to hear from you again. It'd be nice for one of those to be your first win, man. That's something I've been looking forward to.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it as well, and hopefully it happens soon.
All right, buddy. That was Gilberto Javier Gamero, your P3 finisher for half number 1. Or 2. Jeez, Louise.
Yep, and I got Kine and Jones, half 2, P2. Gonna get a order with him. Kine and Jones, camera Rich up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yep, loud and clear.
All right, well, I don't know if this is the first interview we've had with you. Maybe it could have. It's either the first or the second. So, we know you're quick as heck on the road courses usually. So, how did you feel coming into tonight? And how do you feel about your performance here?
Going into tonight, I was already checked out. I've been checked out basically the whole season. So that's why I didn't have my webcam on tonight. So if I end up in the grass or in the wall, I could have just gone play dark. I would have been happy. I had no expectations, and I somehow managed to get second place. I still don't understand how, but I'll take it.
I think in half 2, you were kind of in no man's land for most of the night. It kind of seemed like once you got up to P2, it was a couple seconds up to Tate, and it was a couple seconds back to whoever was in P3 at the time. So, I mean, how do you feel about the track in general? I know you have very strong opinions about some tracks. Is this one of the ones that you like, or one of the ones that you dislike?
So on the other games, I really like this track, but on iRacing, especially with the slowdowns, I've never been good at it, and I'm not a big fan of it. I don't know what it is, but just on iRacing, I'm not the biggest fan. But as the track overall, I do like Montreal.
I would have to agree. I think it's a pretty good road course, and probably if I were to go to a Formula One race, I'd probably pick this one to go to. But New Hampshire next week. Excuse me. So I don't know when the last time OSCA went to New Hampshire was. It's been a while. But how are you feeling about that one? Nice little flat mile track for us to second to last race of the season.
I hate it. The only reason why I want to go to it is because of it getting the updated graphics. If it was the old scan, I might call in sick, but then again, I was expecting to go to a real racing event next week, but unfortunately that's gone through. So I'm horrible at the track. I don't like that style of track. However, I am excited to try out it again, just due to the new update it had. I think it was 2 seasons ago, so a little bit ago now, but haven't had a chance to drive it yet. So I'm excited for that end.
Well, hey, I mean, something to be excited about is always pretty good. Before we let you go, any shout-outs you have?
Yeah, I do have a couple. Gilly, he let me go by on lap 1 to try chase after Tate. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to, but thanks to him for at least being nice. He didn't have to do it, but it's nice to have a good teammate. Hopefully next season he can be in a good team, since unfortunately Weekend Woodsmen will be shutting down. So happy to get the double team podium tonight. So thanks Tim for bringing me and everyone on board to the team. Caden, even though he hasn't been here much this season, thanks to him. Vic for continuing to put it on OSCA week after week. You two, or you three I should be saying, in the booth for, well, putting on the show, and Carlos for, well, being the one to really bring the show to life, and then of course the viewers at home for watching the show.
And I wanted to let you know that Gilly did thank you in his interview for,
Hey.
he said that you helped him learn how to use the pedals a little bit better around the track and make him a little bit smooth. So he did give you a little bit of a shout out as well. But certainly thank you for talking to us, Kynan. Congrats on the P2 tonight. And I think you'll probably do a little bit better than you think you will at New Hampshire. I think you have shown some speed at the flatter tracks, and New Hampshire is pretty flat. So we'll have to see. We might be even talking to you at the end of one of those halves. But P2 tonight, Kynan Jones. And I think that Ty is going to go ahead and catch up with our half number 2 winner. If he's here, yes he is, Tate Lytle.
Mr. Lytle, sir, it's Ty up in the booth. You got a copy, buddy?
Hang on, I'm trying to do this on my phone. I don't know how this thing works.
You are all good, buddy.
Boomer Tate Lytle.
What's up?
Not much, buddy. Well, you you ran a couple laps in half number 1, took the invert pole, and absolutely drove away.
Yeah, not my proudest win, but yeah, my cousin came over to hang out with my son since the races were short. I was like, oh, well, maybe my cousin come over and hang out with my son for 40 minutes, and I'll get a race in. And he was not letting it happen for race 1, but he let it happen for race 2, and yeah, kind of cherry picked an invert pole, and it was pretty. I had a couple off tracks, but it was pretty smooth sailing in half 2. But not my proudest win necessarily, but a win's a win. Got to thank old Traders Brewing Company, Days Gone By Vintage Racing Apparel, cousin Hannah for coming and hanging out for 30 minutes, and yeah, glad to get a race in.
All right, buddy. Well, you know, I know you said chances weren't looking good for this, but you made it. How are we looking for the last 2 races here of the OSCA season?
I think I'll be there next week, and then not the week after. So part of the deal.
10-4, buddy. Well, I know you shouted out a lot of people. Anybody else you want to add to that list?
D West for letting me join the team. It was supposed to be full time, and it's turned into a very, very part-time schedule. So hopefully, I think that's our 8th win. Hopefully, the 8 wins can help. It's going to be a tight race for that team battle. I think the other guys did pretty well in both races tonight. So probably not looking good, but at least when I was here, I was helping, and wish I could have been here more, but not how it panned out.
Well, I guess as the indirectly the person that's taking over the team points for next season, I appreciate the hustle. I appreciate it. But nonetheless, buddy, we get to see you next week and hear from you. I'm sure we will. I mean, you've won so many races. We got a little pop in there, but have a good night, buddy, and hopefully we get to hear you in victory lane again.
Sounds good. Appreciate it. Say bye. Say goodbye. He's looking at me like I'm crazy. We'll talk to you guys next time.
Have a good one. That was Tate Lytle, your half number 2 winner. It was a little cameo from the kiddo.
Wonder if he's gonna grow up to be an iRacer just like his dad. Might be even racing against him in like 20 years. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I hope. Boy, 20 years for us, Cam. That's a yikes. It's like 40.
I know. I'll be there. I'll be 50.
Oh shit! Yeah. Oh.
I mean, let's go ahead and get our half number 1 winner up here while we wait for points and stuff to be calculated. I don't think we have any word on that just yet, but here he is. Daniel Gore! This is Cameron Rich up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
Well, you had the most unenvious position tonight, I think, of anyone. You won half 1 and then had to do half number 2, starting from P last. So you won half number 1 and finished half number 2 in, what was it, I believe P4.
Nice.
Yeah, tell us about your night.
It feels really good to finally get 2 good halves under me. It's been a pretty rough stretch this second half of the season. So
yeah,
win is nice. But no, I was just focusing on nailing the start, which thankfully I did both halves. My teammate fought me for it, so that was fun, but not fun at the same time. He got the slowdown, got by him, and then me and James kind of just kept pacing the first half. The second half, though, that's where all the fun was. Avoiding wrecks, almost getting wrecked, trying not to wreck others, and ended up 4th. Almost got the podium from Gilly, but I was just a little too short for that.
Yeah, and a pretty cool stat that I actually mentioned here during the broadcast. This is your first win since March 13th at
That
Vegas.
reminded me.
So, pretty little bit of a dry stretch there, but not like you've been running poorly. But I mean, we kind of expected you to run pretty well at this type of racetrack. I mean, the road course is always a Redux / Daniel Gore specialty. Everybody tends to run well there, but with that out of the way, I mean, you survived an invert, I'm pretty sure, or not an invert, but we survived an elimination. I think we're still waiting to see who the 3 that are going to be cut for this round are. But how are you looking forward to next week at New Hampshire? I don't think we've been there for a while in OSCA, so.
It's actually a combination I don't think I've ever done, trucks and New Hampshire, so new one for me, which is not what you really want going into an elimination style event. But I guess I'll have to put in a little extra practice and hope things go my way.
Yeah, New Hampshire's a weird one. Very flat, but it is like kind of a highline track, so I don't know.
Short, immediate.
Yeah, it's weird, but it'll be fun, I think. So that's going to be next week. But before we let you go, any shout-outs you want to give us?
My team, Stunty, he helped me out in the second half there by giving me a spot. Noah for letting me know he got the slowdown. Otherwise, I would have ran to the back of him trying to get that slipstream. Jordan, I think he's watching. He said he was, but not too sure. That's pretty much it.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for talking to us, and good job tonight.
Thanks
with
for
the
having me.
Yeah, 2.5 is
In
your
a while
average
since I've
finish.
been back here.
Yeah. Well, maybe hopefully the gap won't be 2 months again, because that means we won't be talking to you ever again in this season. So only got 2 more races, but I'm sure we will. So I'm sure we will.
Oh, well, we have word. Of the 3 drivers that are out, Darren Staff, Dylan Thomas, and David Westergreen have been eliminated from the playoffs.
Alrighty then.
And I think I know one of those guys has a little bit to say about a situation, and I don't normally like to fuel the fire, but I think I want to.
I know exactly who you're about to bring up.
Is it driver number 9?
It is driver number 9.
It is driver number 9. So let's just bring him on up here. It just surprised him. David Westergreen, I have bad news for you, buddy.
Oh, we're definitely out.
Yeah, you unfortunately have been eliminated, but nonetheless, 2 races left to go out and run for some points and try to get the I think the way that it works is you and the other drivers that were eliminated with you fight for the rest of the season because of the way the points stack out. So you still have a shot to beat those guys. But I also know that maybe the playoffs aren't the only thing you want to talk about tonight.
No, I mean, you know, I want to talk about doing anything but racing at a road course. Because I practiced, I felt pretty good, and it just doesn't matter because people just run over you on turn 1, lap 1, and drive off the track and wad up the field. We've been looking back at it, and I realized that it was certainly not the guy behind me's fault for spinning me out, even though felt like it was in the moment there. So we'll go and see what we can do, but it was fun. So just disappointing, but not unexpected because I circled this as kind of the time to depart from the playoffs. Unfortunately, I needed 25 cars and a lot of people to have a lot bigger struggles than they did.
All right, buddy. Well, obviously, you know, you still had one win on the season so far, and shot to get a couple more. Anybody else you want to shout out before we let you on out of here?
Of course, Bite Size Sports. They've been on board with me the whole time. Ray Bracey paints my truck. Got intentionally wrecked tonight. That was cool. And then my teammate Tay Lytle picked up a win. He's only been able to run a little bit because of having a kid, and had his cousin with him. They're able to run half two, kind of. He said he got cherry picked it a little bit, but you know that's all right. We'll take the win for the team points, and you know, South Shore Racing as a whole. We're departing at the end of the season, turning it over to you actually. So that'll be fun for next season. Get to take the owner's hat off and jump back into the driver's booth. That'll be fun. But and then Traders Brewing Company, they sent us beer. Awesome. My guy Nate is the man. And that's about it. It's been a good season. Unfortunately, it comes to an end a little early, but that's all right. Those playoffs just weren't geared for my success, so that's all right.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll go let you continue your debrief, and we will see you next week.
See you, buddy.
That was David Westergreen, one of 3 guys whose playoff hopes have ended tonight. I believe Cam is going to be grabbing one of the other 2.
Yep, I think let's go ahead and bring Darren up here. Darren's had an interesting season, got his first win, and his playoffs end tonight. Darren Staff, Camera Rich, over the booth. You got a copy?
Oh, I didn't expect to be up here, but yes, I do. I'm here.
Yep. So we got word that your playoffs are going to no longer be going after tonight, and I gotta say, I was probably looking for you to have a really good night here after the showing as much speed as you did in practice. It didn't come to plan entirely, but I mean, your entire season as a whole has been pretty good. You've got your first win in OSCA, ran really well up to this point. Take us through your night so far.
Yeah, I mean, half one, not really much I could do there. It was just a whole cluster into turn 2, and Beers, I mean, I don't really know what Beers and Scarborough could have done any different there. I just caught the bad end of the stick. But to be honest, it's half 2 that I think really knocked me out. Just a bunch of silly mistakes that I probably shouldn't have made. But either way, I knew the pressure was going to be hard tonight to make it in, and just didn't perform. It's kind of how these playoffs work. So I know the next 2 tracks are going to be, at least I've circled to be one of my better tracks. So hopefully we'll finish the year off better than tonight.
Yeah, looking like you were out by 3 points, so pretty close, but yet quite a bit far away, but still in the running for the best of the rest. And I think you are definitely a candidate to be in running for that. But you already said that you're looking forward to New Hampshire and Nashville. Before we let you go, any shout outs you want to give?
Yeah, the Accelerated Cloud Solutions car that I'm gonna carry for the rest of the week and next season. A little spoiler there. I'm definitely keeping that sponsor for next season. Anyone in my family who sits around and watches these, I wished I would have given them a better finish tonight, but just I guess wasn't meant to be. So again, we're just gonna head into next week. Obviously, you guys for broadcasting, and Carlos, my team owner, for always giving me the shot every season. So gonna just look forward to next season and the last 2 races.
All right, sounds good. That was your first driver tonight, eliminated from the playoffs. Out by 3 points, Darren Staff. His playoff run ends tonight, and I think the other one out, Dylan, is no longer in the Discord, so I don't think we're going to be able to talk to him.
He left the Discord?
No, he's not. He's not on the call. He's in the Discord. He's just not,
okay.
He's not in interview waiting or anything.
He's not in interview waiting.
Yeah, we cannot access it. He is.
Anybody else you guys want to bring up?
You know. I mean, we could. We heard David allude to Ray's situation. We could maybe hear from Ray Bracey if we wanted to.
Go for it.
And he is the sponsor of tonight's race, so.
You know, yeah. At
fair.
the very least, give him a shout out for sponsoring the race.
Ray, it's time for the booth, buddy. You got a copy?
Oh, y'all pulled me? Okay. Hey.
We did. So we wanted. I mean, you know, you're the sponsor of the race, and you know it was a short one, so we wanted to give you the opportunity to come out and obviously shout yourself out and the work you do with quick shifts. But we also know that there was a little bit of an altercation between yourself and Dallas My Hand. We were just trying to get, I guess, the gist of it from your perspective there. I know you seem a little riled up about it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to call out or anything. I did put it publicly, I guess, but I don't want to say anything on the broadcast. But basically, I just feel like things could have been avoided, and I didn't appreciate what he did. Like I said, I take full responsibility for hitting him, even though it was way earlier than everybody's been breaking. I did hit him, and that was my fault. Beer slammed into me because he also is expecting the same thing I am expecting. So, but then yeah, I didn't appreciate his rejoin. We are debating that basically. We are at odds of what classifies as a good rejoin, and I am at the opinion that it was not a good rejoin. In fact, stopping in front of my car is not considered good rejoin. So, but I will leave it as that. I will leave it up to Vix. Ultra Mind to see what he thinks, and I hope it's on my side. It might not be, but I have my opinions, and that's just how it is. It sucks. I mean, I didn't need the points. Fortunately, I was at a good spot after the first half. I think I could have came in last place and still would have been fine. But it just hurts that, you know, I didn't know that was something he was going to do at all, and I just disappointed in that. That's basically it. I know he has no history of intent wrecking, and I'm not, you know, I wish I've already accused him of that. I'm sorry, I have, but that's just how I feel at the time. Maybe I'm just seeing red. Maybe I'm just an asshole. Maybe I am wrong, and maybe I need to see this tomorrow. But I'll admit I hit the guy, but I know what I saw afterwards, so I'll just leave it at that. That's all I can really do at this point. So,
all right, buddy. Well, that was the driver's side, but as the sponsor side, obviously, you know, quick shifts. I mean, it is your baby. We have seen it. You had the alternate version that we are very thankful that you don't do anymore, because Cam, myself, and Carlos, we would probably be fried by this point in time of the season. I wanted to say that if you were still doing those, you would now know that my cussing during the broadcast streak is up to 3. Nice. I hope to end that. I don't want to carry that to the end of the season. But if I do, then I guess it abruptly ends when I get back in the driver's seat. But that's besides the point.
Well, I might be bored in the off season, so maybe expect something.
Oh no! Oh no! It's one big mass compilation. Yeah, there's a lot of cranking.
There's lots of. I've heard the cranking before. There's lots of cranking between you two. So
we do crank it up here. But yeah. You know, what do you want these people to know about quick shifts if they haven't seen it? We talk about it a lot, but for the people that might not know.
Yeah, quick shifts. If you haven't watched it, it's just a fun recap I do between this series and another series and another league. They're just. Well, I guess it's funny after today. The whole idea behind it originally was just to kind of show people that everybody makes mistakes. That the whole point is, it's like a fun way of saying, hey, look, he messed up. Look what he did. Everybody sucks. And we should all just learn from that. And it's just a fun way to just recap it, rewatch it, and laugh at it. So I had little voice clips in there too. Sometimes things get heated. And I had the broadcasters such as yourself. It's fun. I'm having a blast making these, and I think even if you're not in the leagues, I think they're still fun to watch just because you get to see the minds of all these people dealing. It's funny. This league is a lot less, usually a lot less serious in terms of aggression towards each other, and then the other leagues usually a lot more so you get a nice variety of silly goofiness in one, and then kind of high stakes in the other. So
yeah.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. If you haven't watched it, Bojo Racing, watch Quick Shifts. It's silly. My cat's the avatar. You'll have fun.
Great commercial too.
At baller commercial.
Yeah, the commercial.
I don't know about the guy that was knocking on myself and Cam up here, but that's yikes. All right, buddy. Well, hopefully next week goes a little better for you. I mean, you still got a shot at the championship, and I think the way that you've been racing and the way that your season has gone, I think you are a surefire shot at it. So.
Yeah, I'm hopeful. I think. Well, my goal this race was to get at least 1-0x. I failed both times, so the first race was just I hit the grass once and that just killed it. And I was only at a 1x, so I ruined that point, the whole playoff point because of the grass. And then I had many altercations the second one. Also, sorry to Noah, that one was completely my fault. My bad completely on that. But he still advanced, or no, he's not in the playoffs. But so yeah, they still did better than I did. So there you go. One last thing. I think I should be good in playoffs. Hopefully I can finish next week okay, and then maybe make the finals for the first time ever. So should be fun.
We'll be looking for it, buddy.
Thank you, man.
All right. Well, that was Ray Bracey. That's your race sponsor. We're going to let him go back and continue his debrief.
He got called into the principal's office.
Yeah, I put him down there, and he has gone to the principal's office to have a chat with Mr. Bloom. So we're going to see how that goes. But Cam, I mean, that's kind of what we expected tonight. The playoffs add some stress, they add some heat, and these guys felt the pressure tonight, and we have some altercations because of it.
Yep.
Although